In the past year or so, there has been more and more fishing games released on Roblox. Fish released in late 2024 and popularized the fishing game genre, and today there are many different fishing games that get hundreds or even thousands of concurrent players. And one of them is a new game called Abyss. The game had public release just a week ago, yet already manages to easily get tens of thousands of players every day. With that player count, it pretty easily got into about top 30 most playing games on Roblox. Right now, having just about as many players as Fish, Abyss has been in development for months, and as it came out, instantly got a decent amount of players in it. And so far, the game has been only slowly gaining more and more players every day, getting over 100,000 players with its new update while I'm editing this video. So the game is a fishing game, but not really in the way you might expect. Instead of using a fishing rod to get the fish, you just hunt for it using a gun. The tutorial teaches you the basics of the game so that you can actually start playing. There are barrels which you use to move around the map, since everything is underwater, and they also give us oxygen to breathe. Kraken is the main guy. He will give you out the first main quests, and he's the one you sell your fish to. He's also the one who dragged us onto all of this, according to the little lore animation when you first join the game. At one point, you'll complete the final quest, and you're left with some other quests as well as exploring the map. Ancient Sands will be the first new location you'll get to. It has some new type of fish, quests, and more. The map so far has 2 locations with names, not including the event one obviously, but it seems there is already area planned for 3rd location. In total, I've played for about 2 hours so far, and the game does look decent. Something I have not told you about yet are geodes. It's those little things that you need to open, and when the geodes open, you receive a random artifact from it. Those artifacts can be equipped. The amount you can equip depends on your level, and the artifacts themselves give you boosts. In this case, they can have different levels of the boosts. The levels are written in Roman numerals, and the way you get them is actually by hunting the fish. Sometimes a chest icon will appear like this. You need to catch it similar to the fish, but it just doesn't move. If you get it, you'll get a geode, which then you turn into an artifact. Later on, you will discover more of them. For example, the cactus geode has a chance to appear in cactus mutated fish. The game also has this special currency called shards. It can be used for different things like speeding up the geodes, or most importantly, races. This game has races which give you different boosts. I'll get back to races a bit later. As to how you get this currency, you can complete quests, or you can also complete badges. And on the topic of badges, it reminds me of Bee Swarm Simulator. The UI is made in a similar way to Bee Swarm Simulator, as in the location and position of the icons, and badges have tiers which reward you a special currency. It's not a bad thing, obviously, but I do wonder if they actually were inspired by Bee Swarm Simulator for it. So, as I mentioned earlier, Fish is the one that pretty much revived the fishing genre on Roblox. When it released, it quickly got into hundreds of thousands of players, and when something becomes popular, expect it to become a trend. And speaking of trends, this is the game that popularized weight and mutation systems. It might not be the first one to use them, but it is the one that made them popular. Later on, Grow a Garden would release and make weight and mutations even more popular, and today you'll see a lot of games either have weight, mutations, or even both. As for fishing aspects, Fish has this fishing mini-game, get the right timing and keep the bar under the line. And again, Fish might not be the first to use this kind of mini-game, but it definitely inspired most of the new fishing games. Abyss does have the second part of the mini-game too, even adding a bit from themselves with the geode part, but instead of getting right timing with fishing rod, you just aim at the fish and shoot it instead. Abyss, as you probably already noticed, does have mutations too, and even weight. Both of those stats are noticeable when you are hunting for fish. But besides Abyss, there is a different fishing game which also happened to release very recently called Star Fishing. This game is simpler, both visually and gameplay-wise. In this case, you don't get fish, but just anything related to space, like asteroids, stars, black holes, and whatever else. But what's different about fishing is the fact that you can get multiple things at once. In my case, I can get 26 things at once from fishing, which does look pretty crazy. The stuff you get can either be sold or turned into rings which boost luck, reel speed, and capacity. To me, it feels a little bit like Soul's RNG. You can cast fishing rod, see if you got anything good. If not, then cancel and cast the fishing rod again until you get something. And the stuff you get is made out of a bunch of cool-looking effects. It's not as popular as Abyss, but still averages around 10,000 players and is currently in alpha phase of development, so it's in a pretty early state. And as for Abyss, the game does seem to do pretty good right now. It just got an update with Valentine's event, and the event itself is pretty simple. You got some quests you can complete where you either need to catch specific type of fish or deliver love letters. And the event currency is V-tickets, which can be used to buy event gear or some boosts. But there are also concerns with this game, not only from me but also from many others. The game has 3 people working on it, the owner and 2 developers. One of the developers is the owner of a game called The Forge. And you know what happened with The Forge? It had a great start, but quickly lost people's interest due to some problems. Last major update that added actual content came out a month ago, and only now the game is getting a new update. A lot of people either left because they had nothing left to do, or similar to me, just never ended up progressing to the end game. There's also plenty of people who aren't a fan of how much RNG there is in this game. Abyss has some similarities to The Forge. Now going back to races, this might be the best example. This is fully RNG-based part, and just like in The Forge, has a decent chunk of benefits if only you actually get lucky. They are made in almost exact same way, and this is obviously because the owner of The Forge took a part on developing this game. And some are worried this game will end up just like The Forge, have a good start, but quickly fall due to many leaving the game because of having nothing left to do or other reasons. The Valentine's event is here to stay for 2 weeks, and it seems that is the only new content for the next 2 weeks. And seeing how much it added, it does feel like it's just not enough. The problem is adding enough content with the quality this game has, and the fact that there is 3 people working on it, with one of them having a decently big game of their own to manage. So because of that, some worry it would end up just like The Forge, and if that were to happen, then the game would go down to a few thousand players in the next 2 months. I think the whole idea of the game is nice. All it needs is the right type of content added that can entertain every part of the player base for some time, maybe even do tiny weekly updates for that. But as of right now, I guess we'll have to wait and see if it can become the new big fishing game, or if it will face the same fate as The Forge. Anyway, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I will be making a Q&A video once the channel hits 25,000 subscribers. You can watch one of these videos while waiting for a new one. They are good too. Play our game or join my Discord server with the links in description, and I will see you soon.